I met you through Marla McCall.
Yeah.
I'm talking, that's what, 15 years? 15 years ago?
10 years ago.
10 years ago.
Wow.
Okay.
God dog.
But you were in graduate school.
Yep.
Still active duty. We've crossed paths on several times over the last 10 years.
Yeah.
One of the things that I think that's always brought us back together is just the common ground is, I think, the way we treat our clients. And I know when we were chatting the other day, you were in the car in Texas, you passed your real estate test there, so congratulations. But what we were doing when we were just having our normal conversation, we truly were reflecting on our careers and the people that we help. What is your high? And I want to call it like a high, because I know I see it in your videos. When you're helping your clients, I mean, your smile is ear to ear. What drives you every day when you're in real estate?
I truly felt the same level of service to serve wearing the uniform, to correlate that into real estate.
Like I said before, served, still serving.
Right. With all the leaders and people that I've served with or served for, there's two things that I listen to understand to people that we all want when you're in the business of servant leadership is work ethic and care. And you can't teach that. I just love when somebody reacts when they see the home, whether they're selling it or they're buying their home. When they're selling their home, I see the emotion of the years and sometimes even generations.
Yeah.
I love seeing the peace of mind they have just released from the sale of the home, right?
Yeah.
But then for the buyer, it's like, oh my goodness.
The excitement.
The excitement, it's like this is brand new, whether it's the first home or it's the fifth or sixth home. To see that and the reaction, I enjoyed that.
Yeah.
That's my satisfaction, that's my high.
I think the best part of our jobs are when we get a call from somebody that we have no idea who it is. Yeah. And they say, well, I got your name from so-and-so because they had a great experience. That tells me, it tells you that we know we did it the right way.
Right.
Because if somebody's gonna trust a home buying experience, a home selling experience, the real estate side or the lending side, whether it's a $100,000 transaction or $1 million transaction, to them, it is the most important thing that's going on.
Absolutely.
I know we both attack that transaction like it is a $1 million transaction.
Absolutely.
For that client.
And I learned a few traits from you in 2013 with Marla, that specific transaction on how you were working with her client, then allowed me to be like, wow, lenders have a level of touch and professionalism.
We met at the closing table.
Yeah, you know what I mean? And I was like, wow, they actually show up at the closing table, and I'm like, man, for this amount of a deal, you know what I mean? So,
it was a small condo.
It was a small condo, so that's implied for me. I'm like, okay, because from a visual standpoint on TV, I'd always saw the lenders and everybody showing up for the $1 million homes. What about the other homes? You know, your approach had me in the position of like, this is a character-based gentleman.
It goes both ways, man. Last year, I invited you to an event that, you know, my family was there. My mom, my dad, my sister, they came up. I didn't invite many people, but I invited you. You at the time, you were still active duty, and when we were at Fort Belvoir, I mean, you know, you got to meet Colonel Dick Johns, a very important person to me. We share the bond of, we help everybody.
Absolutely.
But there's something, there's just a little something extra when we get to help our men and women of service. Not that we don't give it everything we got, but it's just kind of like you got to put that whipped cream and strawberry on top when you're dealing with our men and women of service. Some of them are PCSing. I know you just recently had a client go from, I think it was Alaska, to here.
Literally, driving.
And 2 kids.
And 2 kids.
A lot of individuals don't understand that when a man or a woman is deployed, it's not just the person who's deployed. It's their partner that's back home. It is an event. So when you're moving every 2 years because the government and because your country tells you, I mean, we're uprooting a family.
Absolutely.
We need to do our job to make that uproot and their new roots that we're helping them build. We need to do a little something to really make sure they're in that area. I know it's special to you too.
The experience for a service member, whether they're deployed or in a different country or in a different state, is already anxiety
Absolutely.
to the roof. right? And as I listen to understand and put myself in their shoes, and having been in their shoes,
Absolutely.
I can only imagine, you know, you got the kids or you're solo, you're trying to figure out life, to figure out, okay, how is this particular transition as I get ready to pivot, DC, Maryland, Virginia community, how can I make this easy for them? And making it easy for them, understand all of the stakeholders involved, the kids, you know, parents want to ensure that, you know, the schools, right? The parents want to make sure that how far is my commute, right? And how long is it going to take me to get home, to see the kids, or to get home just in general? The last point of the blind spot is to educate them about the power of their investment. And that's where you come in involved. That shared expectation now puts people in a position of peace, of solace. You know, where they can absolutely understand and say, wow, okay, this is not that bad after all. Covering the blind spots and then being able to educate them about the process alone. And I believe a lot of service members, they just want to be served in a way where it's fluid.
I know I've always been treated with respect, and they want that respect in return. And oftentimes, and I think it's just the military background in general. The sir and ma'am are thrown around all. But it takes on a different meaning. It's like when they answer the phone. I remember they say their name, their rank, and they say, "How may I serve, sir or ma'am?"
Right.
It kind of sticks with me,
right,
knowing that their day is about how may I serve you.
Right.
They're the ones that have provided the blanket of freedom
Absolutely.
that we sometimes take for granted every day.
Absolutely.
I love the VA loan.
Absolutely.
Not all military people use the VA loan all the time because there might be a better program.
Absolutely.
But in my opinion, especially in the marketplace that we're in, more and more people are starting to be educated from a listing side too, because as opposed to just saying, oh no, don't take the VA loan. If they really understood it, it's actually one of the best loans out there.
Service is one of the best programs. I believe once you educate the listing agent or educate the seller with regards to the loan, and you can actually see how the process is structured and formatted.
And it can be better than a conventional sometimes.
Absolutely.
With the appraisal and the veteran taking ownership of certain things.
Absolutely.
If we can get to that dialogue, it's all about having that dialogue and communication.
That shared dialogue helps out. For my success, I believe in 99.999% of the deals that I work with. And that's just because of it's a matter of conversation to open-ended conversation to say, how many VA loans have you worked with before?
Right.
Then therefore I'm listening to understand, we're talking to one another, and now it's a shared approach. And then tagging the lender on in the conversation is very important.
Absolutely.
Because now when you bring in a VA purchaser collaborating with a VA lender that is not only understanding of the VA loan, but the system and process alone to be able to close on the loan within the specific period of time, it serves everybody well. I like to include that on in with the listing consultations that I work with. And that's just because of, so now my client has a better understanding of the VA loan. And it's not just to say, because nobody wants to be put in the position of, I didn't know.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's like, that's uncomfortable. It's like, I'm like, man, I wish I would have been educated more. Hint, hint, realtor.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Those things definitely go a long way in the relationship and the sustainability with regards to everyone involved.
All I can say is I know that we don't see each other as much as I'd like, you know, I mean, with the traveling and this and that. But every time I call you or you call me, it always turns into a, before it's business, it's always, how are you doing? How's the family?
Right.
And then we get into things. And I've appreciated that over the years. So,
Likewise.
So I just want to, you know, one, it's great to see your continued success. Congratulations on the new career in addition to all your success in the real estate. And I can't wait till we meet your wife to be very shortly.
Absolutely. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Absolutely.
Appreciate you.
Yep.